Shrutismritipurananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Logashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Bhattarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmatacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Beta Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Gukaro Anthakaro Vairukarastan Nivartakaha Anthakara Nirodhitvad Guru Ditya Pithiyate Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavati Tamastu Ma Vitveshavahai Om Shanti 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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataya Mrityave Brahma Vidya Acharyaya Nachiketase Namaha. So, we are in the 23rd verse in the second section of the first chapter in Kaṭha Upaniṣad. What Yama, the Lord Death, gives Nachiketas, we are seeing as Nachiketas asks for the truth of this death and birth, and the Lord Death systematically given the information regarding the death and birth of a living being. In that process, we are seeing each and every verse what Lord Death given to Nachiketas. Now we will see the 23rd verse. We have seen the first two sentences, first two parts of this verse, but we will recap that. First I will read, then I will go to the meaning. Nayamatma pravachanena lepyaha na methaya na bahuna shrutena yameva yeshaha vrunute tena lepyaha tasya yesha atma vivrunute tanum swam. I will read once more. Nayam atma pravachanena lapyaha na methaya na bahuna shrutena yamaiva eshaha vrunute tena lapyaha tasya yesha atma vivrunute tanum swam. Very interesting verse. We have seen a small part of this verse in the last class. We will recap that. The first sentence, Nayamatma pravachanena lepyaha. Veda has two parts. First part is called ritualistic portion or karma kanda. And the second part is called the portion which talks about the knowledge of self. Jnana kanda. Veda is predominantly talking about rituals. That is, karma kanda is predominant in Vedas. Karma kanda teachers are called karma kandini. Those who do various types of rituals according to the instructions given by the Vedas. which ingredients, how much bricks to make the fire ground, and who are the people to do this ritual, those who are qualified. All these things are being told by the Vedas in the first portion of Karma Kanda. Usually, Karma Kandins, the teachers of these Vedic rituals, used to by heart the whole blessed thing, the ritualistic mantras, the steps for the ritual, and the ingredients. All these things they will recite in course of time, and they will get by hearted with this verse. In order to by heart that verses, they chant again and again and again and again. I'm talking about karma kandis. Those who are eligible studying under another karma kandi, they used to recite these verses and get everything inside their brain. So after that, when they teach others, they give all these ideas from their brain because they have already by hearted, kept inside the brain. So studying systematically in a proper way and delivering to the eligible personality in the proper manner, this whole process is called pravachanam. Regarding karma kanta, the ritualistic portion of the Vedas. So here, Lord Death talks to Nachiketas or give the teachings to Nachiketas by saying, this self will not get revealed, will not comes into light, or the person may miss if we study under a karma kantin or a teacher of rituals, because they will be eloquent, they will be adept, they are capable of revealing the meanings of mantras and making others to do the rituals by teaching them. But these things will not constitute the knowledge of Atman. Adi Shankara says in Brahma Sutra, in the Bhashya, in some place, there is no rule for a person to study the knowledge about self. There is no rule or there is no specific statement in Vedas that one should go through the karma kanda first and then one should come to the portion of knowledge. There is no such specific rule at all. Literally, I will make you understand. It means that you need not to study karma kanda to enter into the world of knowledge or the last portion of Vedas, Vedanta. We saw in this universe, whichever book we take, we cannot go directly to the last pages of the books. We will not get the whole idea. It is a commonly sensed idea that in order to know the complete meaning of the book, we should go from the page 1. But the subject matters being different in Vedas. The first portion talks about something to be accomplished, sadhya vishayam. The second portion talks about something already accomplished in one's life, siddha vishaya. Being the subject matters totally different, one need not to go to the first portion before coming to the second portion. There is no such rule. Even Veda don't talk about that. And we presume that when a person enters directly to the knowledge of self, in his previous births, he may come across, he might have been gone through the first portion of Vedas in his previous birth, so that in this birth, he need not to go through the first portions of the Vedas. Here, Lord Death says directly, there is no need of, or there is no guarantee for a person who is very adept in pravachanam, studying the first portion of Karma Kanda and teaching the first portion of Karma Kanda. That will not guarantee that person is an Atma Jnani, a person who got the attainment in self-knowledge. There is no guarantee. So, Lord Death tell to Nachiketas, this is not a measuring aid. Pravachanam is not a qualification or a measuring scale in order to know that person is a true jnani, a person who has accomplished the knowledge of self. So Atma will not be available even though a person can be Karma Kanda reciter and Karma Kanda teacher. Pravachana means studying a thing completely and teaching others the same thing from his mind or from his knowledge about what he studied. That doesn't guarantee that he is capable of revealing the knowledge or he is a mukta purusha. It will not guarantee that this person is freed from the bondages of this death and birth cycle. This is the meaning Lord Yama want to tell Nachiketas through this sentence. Nayam atma pravachanena labhyaha. You will not get or cannot be attained this atma by pravachanam, studying the first portion and teaching the first portion. Of course, this first portion is very much relevant. It can give certain amount of purification of the mind, antakarana shuddhi, if you do with a proper attitude, and it will also give a benefiting result that whatever our temporary needs in this world for the survival, these rituals have the capacity to attract those type of benefits. But this will not constitute this attainment of the knowledge of the self. This is what he wants to say to Nachiketas. Now, we already saw the second line of this verse. Na methaya na bahuna shrutena. Metha, receiving a subject matter properly, remembering that subject matter, what you have studied or received, and recollect that subject matter in the right time. This whole process is called Metha Shakti. Receiving a subject matter properly, remembering that subject matter in the mind or in the buddhi, in the intellect, and You recollect it in the proper time, whenever there is a need. So, 3R, in order to know what is metha in Sanskrit: receive, remind, recollect. All these three things, if you have that capacity to do this, then you have metha shakti. And it is endowed with each and every human being. But people are not interested to activate that metha shakti. This is the main thing. We need to put little bit effort to activate this power of this memory culture. After studying or reading one sentence again and again and again, and you think about the same sentence what you have listened, and after a period of time, it will get registered inside the mind. This is what metha shakti. A person who have the memory culture to receive properly, remind properly, and recollect properly. But it's all a faculty of a human body, nothing to do with the knowledge. This is what Lord Yama says. Yamadharma Raja didn't say that memory culture is a qualification to receive the knowledge of the self. But ironically, he said what he said: your features, glorious features of your body will not help, is not a measuring aid for the knowledge of self. It will not guarantee a person who have a tremendous capacity to memorize certain things reading once itself. But that will not constitute the capacity to know this knowledge of self, the knowledge about the substratum of this entire universe. So metha shakti, memory culture, is not a criterion in accomplishing one's self. So at any age, if you are ready, you can listen Vedanta. Suppose if it works in your life, you are freed from this death and birth cycle. Oh, I don't have that memory. I don't have that capacity. I don't know how to connect with the sentences what you're talking, teacher. These excuses are not at all valid. If you are interested to be freed from this world, if you are interested in the main concern of a human being, if you are informed that human beings have a particular goal in this universe, that to be freed from this death and birth cycle, and you are interested to listen that, regardless of your religion, regardless of your birth, regardless of your country, regardless of your gender, regardless of your past and worst experiences, regardless of your parentage, regardless of your torture, what you have gone through in this world, regardless of your all kinds of worries inside and outside, you are eligible to listen this glorious knowledge from a traditional teacher. This is what Lord Yama wants to convey for us through Nachiketas. Once you are ready, you don't tell any excuse about the body limitation, because The features of the body is not a criteria in listening Vedanta. That is what Lord Yama wants to convey. Even if you have the memory culture to receive the subject matter and deliver it properly as it is what you have received in another time, it's all the feature, it's all the glory of the personality of the limited body. But that is not a criterion to listen Vedanta. Means, in spite of all the body limitations, you can listen to this knowledge, and once this knowledge get inside you and get assimilated, at once you are free from all kinds of sorrows. Atyandiga dukkha nivritti is the result. Atyandigam means permanently you are free from all kinds of sorrows. Permanently, not temporarily. If you are interested to remove all kinds of pain and sorrows and to want to be free from this death and birth cycle, keep away all kinds of body limitations you usually lament to another person or oneself. All these things you keep away and listen to this Vedanta. That is what Lord Yama says, na methaya, na shrutena. Hearing or listening 1,000 times. I have gone to this preacher 4,000 times. I have listened to him several times. That doesn't mean that you are free from this death and birth cycle. It does not mean that you own this knowledge. That's all. Accomplished fact is only to be listened if you miss that fact in your life. That is why Shravanam Kuryat. Listen to the traditional teacher for a length of time. It's a big means, a tool. Listening again and again to get more clarity. Why? Because Vedanta talks about a thing which is already accomplished by the listener. There is no work involved in it in order to accomplish something, as though we used to do. Suppose if we study about a good recipe in cooking, you have to collect all the ingredients from the market. You have to arrange certain things in order to cook vessels, a light, a fire pot, any lot of things you have to gas stove, certain ingredients, certain vessels externally, and you have to work to get the proper result. In accomplishing anything in this world, lot of work are involved. But when we talk about an accomplished fact, and I am missing that accomplished fact in my life, it means that already accomplished fact is being mistaken by somebody as another thing. As Shankara says, Atasmin tad buddhi, Brahma Sutra. Brahma Sutra, whenever I say, don't get confused, the people who are listening first time, it is also a text talking about the knowledge about the self, which I am going to take whole Brahma Sutra after this Upanishad. So here, something, an already accomplished fact, means A person is that thing, and a person didn't know that I am that thing, means he himself mistaken something other than what he or she is. A mistaken identity is being corrected by another traditional teacher or another person. Most of the mistakes in this world are to be pointed out. Generally, people don't correct mistakes themselves unless they come to know. Suppose a person using a big shawl in his shoulder. Shawl means a lengthy cloth which can use to cover your head or body if the temperature is very low in the atmosphere. Rishikesh, normally you will get that shawl. Different types of shawls are available in the higher altitude places in winter. Suppose you keep a big lengthy shawl and unaware of that, the tip of the shawl is sweeping the floor because it is very, very lengthy shawl. And you keep in one shoulder and it's too length and you are unaware of that. And the tip of the shawl, the bottom of the shawl, is just sweeping the floor. And he or she is walking through the street. Somebody should point out to him or her that your shawl is sweeping the floor or road. Please handle it properly, or please keep again little bit shortened without touching the floor or road. We need to point out. Generally, a mistake what we commit should be informed by some other person in order to correct. Especially a person having certain self-praising himself or herself, some ego because of his features endowed with his or her body. He don't want to listen anybody because there are some glories given by the Lord to him or her. So he may not or she may not listen others usually. Wherever there is capacities, the talents, the capabilities, if a person having, if a person have these different types of talents, that person will have a certain amount of ego so that he may not listen others' words or others' advice because he will be always covered with his own glories. So he may not listen what others say, even though he is committing a mistake. Lot of hindrances are there. One type of obstacles are like this. One's own ego puffing due to certain talents with oneself. I can sing. I can run in sports. I can draw. And I am self-made. So that we don't listen others because you have already a talent which made you famous among the society or people, so that you may have a little bit of ego. We are all like that only. So that this is a type of obstacle in our life. We need not to listen others. Generally, people should be informed in order to correct a mistake if they are unaware of a mistake. It's a general rule. The same logic we apply here. A person is committing a mistake regarding about oneself. Taking granted seeing this body and the people around me also following the same knowledge that I am this body, then I will also continue what majority do. So I am also living with this knowledge that I am this body. And this is a mistaken identity. Without knowing the substratum or the locus of the body, a person misunderstood about the substratum that this body is me. Then this person is being helped by the traditional teacher. There is a big way to reach the traditional teacher, which we will coming to that path in other verses. For the time being, I am focusing the Shrutena word. A person who has a mistaken identity regarding one's own nature is being corrected or informed by another enlightened personality, a traditional teacher. This teacher will help the person to know his intrinsic nature. In order to know that, he should listen to the traditional teacher for a length of time. This listening is called Shrutam. Shrutam means listening, listened. Listening lot of times to a traditional teacher will help the personality to know the intrinsic nature of the person. But here, Lord Yama says that without the preparatory steps, without the prerequisites, without any self-effort, mere listening will not help the person. Mere listening will become an information, but it will not help to transform. It will not help to own the knowledge or to assimilate the knowledge, because this teaching is a personal information. When a person goes to doctor to show his weakness and the doctor give a full body checkup and the doctor says to that person, you need to be a bit careful right now. You cannot eat outside. You cannot go for in the midst of public or society because you are having a beginning of a serious disease. And this information he used to take personally because it's a serious problem. If he don't listen, if he is not ready to listen what doctor says, he should be ready to meet all the consequences, what is going to occur in his body. When you are informed about a personal thing related to yourself, you have to take into your life. This is called a transformation. Just listening a traditional teacher or just listening any knowledge and not having any transformation in one's own life, there is no use of listening so many times, several times. Once you listen and you got some idea about yourself, and you change the attitude towards the world and towards yourself, this is called a transformation. Many of the people, even after listening a lot of times toward the traditional teachings, they miss the obvious. This is what Lord Yama told to Nachiketas. So, Nayamatma pravachanena labhyaha na methaya na bahuna shrutena. This self will not be attained by reciting and delivering the thing. This Atma, the individual self, will not be attained by a person who has certain features in his body, glories, academical qualifications, higher jobs, higher career, or being a social identity, having a social identity, popularity. All these things will come under this metha. Understand? Any glories pertaining to the body is not a criterion to be freed from this samsara. That is what is indicated by this single word methaya. You may have different glories. A person may be rich, a person may be poor. A person having a talent for painting, pencil drawing, multi-talented personalities also there, versatile in lifestyle. All these things are pertaining to the body. We call them glories. It will not become a qualification or a criterion in accomplishing the self or in the pursuit of knowledge. The Shrutena, after listening several times, these things can work, but listening is not a criterion. After listening, one need to own this knowledge. Assimilation of this knowledge should take part. Without that, this Atma will be always a question mark. And he give the third and fourth line of this verse more beautiful than the first two verses. Yameva yeshaha vrunute tena labhyaha. One who chooses this Atman as his primary concern, first priority. We also in the last class, we saw this verse. Still, I want to make you understand it elaborated. The first priority should be in this human life. I should listen to the ultimate knowledge, and I should get rid of from this world of sorrow and the world of bondages. Lord Shankara says in Bhajagovindam, Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jadare shayanam, iha samsare bahudustare Kripaya Pare Pahi Murare. The meaning of the verse is very beautiful. Again and again, going through the womb of different living beings, birth. Again and again, from the tiger, we will become grass. From the grass, we will become the grasshopper. Again, we will become some other things. Different lives. Different lives. Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. After departing from one body, immediately we will be taking another body. This continuation is horrible. Going through different births. Each and every birth will be tremendous pain and suffering. Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. Again and again going to the womb of a mother in different bodies. All these living beings are going through this cycle. This world of creation, what we see in this, in our surroundings, Bahu Dustare, is not easy, very hard even to see, even to go through that. Oh Lord, please help me to get rid of this samsara. This is the meaning. So people are having different goal in one's life. Food, shelter, and dresses are the primary concern for everybody. A delicious, good food, shelter, make new home or different homes in different countries or in different places. And different dresses, buying some different dresses. They keep themselves happy, buying all these secondary things in their life. Most of the people will be sticking to these things as their life priority. Of course, getting into connected with different peoples, maybe females and males, and enjoying having some pleasures in their life. This also become their top priority. I'm talking about the general people, what we call society. These people, unless they have some special grace of this all-pervasive Lord, they may not come across this information that secondary things are loaded and packed with sorrow and unhappiness. May you focus on the origin of real happiness within oneself, that Atma, the true nature of one's own real self. Most of the people miss that. They are mistaken. The secondary things in the universe are capable of making happy. Really speaking, some ego satisfaction. If you have some money in your account, you feel some satisfaction. If your body is okay, you feel certain satisfaction. These are all temporary satisfaction or conditional satisfactions. When your body is not as you think, your happiness has gone. So, condition of the body is the condition for your happiness. Condition of your money status is the condition for your happiness. Condition of your relationship is the condition of your happiness. People are behind conditional happiness. Oh, my girlfriend is not talking. Your happiness has gone. Oh, my boyfriend is not talking. Your happiness has gone. We are all going behind conditional happiness. And this will become our top priority unless we know we are having the human birth in order to know one's own self. Very few people, due to the grace of this all-pervasive Lord, due to the moral life which is having lot of ethics and values, at last, due to the purification of the mind and heart, they reach to the traditional teacher's feet and they listen the reality of the world and one's own reality. So, if a person don't have the first priority to listen from the traditional teacher, what is the human goal, how I can achieve the human goal, what are the limitations I am having in the process of listening, how I can dismiss all these obstacles in the pursuit of knowledge, how I can come out of my cravings towards the family life, how I can come out of my unhappiness which are happened in my past life, how I can make up my core issues. All these things, when we study the knowledge about self, slowly get vanished. But people don't have the idea. In order to get the idea that I should know the secret of my birth, I should know the secret behind the creation. People may have some enthusiasm in this point for a level, not highly enthusiastic. And a small amount of enthusiasm everybody will have. These people who are having this enthusiasm in an extreme level, we call them thinkers, philosophers, etc. The point is, in order to study a subject matter, a person should know, why should I study this subject matter? The connection you should get in that. That is going to discuss in the next shloka. Just I will give some hints why the person is not get connected with the Vedanta. In order to get connect, I will give an example. Then it will be easy to understand the idea. When you go to a book festival, different types of books are there in the shelf, in that exhibition. And you are going through because you are a lover, you love to read the books. But you only buy the books which you are connected. Suppose you are a painter. You can paint, draw and paint any picture. And you are going through this book exhibition. You may come across different types of books talking about digital photography, how to make a movie, how to identify the stars, different types of books. How this world come to the in this situation. what is going to happen in the next year, predictions. Different types of books are there in this book exhibition. Of course, cookery recipes also there. If you are interested in cooking, then only you will buy this book. If you are interested in astronomy, then only you buy the book regarding stars. If you are interested in photography, then only you will go to buy the books of digital photography. But luckily, I am not interested in any of these things we say. I am interested in pencil drawing and painting, oil painting. You will be searching that types of books. And once you identify all these books, slowly you will buy one by one all these books. So, if you have a connection with the subject matter, then you will buy that book. Similarly, nobody knows what Vedanta talks about. They are missing the connection between the Vedanta and one's life. Really speaking, Vedanta is talking about the listener. One who is approaching the Vedanta is the hero or is the heroine of the Vedanta. No other things are being revealed in Vedanta. The listener is the hero. One who approaches this book, that person will become the hero or the heroine of this subject, is this Vedanta topic. This is the connection. I am being discussed. I am being explained. I am being elaborated by these holy books called Vedanta. But nobody knows that. We being the main role in this Vedanta, we will be more interested in that. This point is missing for the entire society. That's why they are not. How many people are there right now listening? 10, 9, 11, 12, something like that. I have informed everybody before 1 year. But the connection is missing. That connection will only happen due to the grace of Lord. No other way. Due to our daily life, moral conduct, ethics, values, that person will be completely helped, blessed, given all kinds of boons by the Lord and listen to Vedanta and free from samsara. It's a pure luckiest thing in the world to happen. No other way, It's very important that. So, I want to complete at least this sloga, 5 minutes more. We have 5 to 8 minutes. The connection being missing, people not get connected with this topic. That is why most of the people are keeping some other priorities in their life. This is the human goal. This priority should come as the top priority. My first priority is to listen about my intrinsic nature from a traditional teacher. Without listening this, nobody is going to get the knowledge of Atman. One who don't keep the priority that I should study the teachings of Vedanta in this life, those people will be missing the knowledge about oneself. I only told the connection is missing. There are some other things also missing, why they are not connected, which we are going to see in the next slogan. I will say the topic is very big. Now I am coming to the direct meaning of this sentence. One who keep Atma, the self, as their primary priority in their life, and all other things keep as their second priority. Wife, children, child, money, career, everything are secondary. This is the primary thing in their life. I want to listen. I am getting an amount of satisfaction, an amount of peace, just listening to the words of traditional teachings. I want to listen about myself, what Indian philosophy says. One who keep this teachings as their first priority in their life, those person can only attain Atma in their life. Yameha eshaha vrunude. One who chooses to listen what Vedanta says, those people only get blessed, attained by this self. They will definitely know the intrinsic nature of the self. And the last sentence of this verse, Tasya esha atma vivrunude tanum swam. This atma, this individual self, will reveal its own intrinsic nature to this person. The person who keeps the traditional teachings, Vedanta, as their first priority in their life, for this person only the Atma, the individual self, reveals its own nature. Once we know the nature of our intrinsic nature, that is our culmination. While living, we are free from all kinds of sorrows, all kinds of limitations. In the midst of society, in the midst of all activities, I am free from all kinds of activities. Atyandika dukkha nivritti, ultimate eradication of all kinds of sorrows, which are yet to come, also being eradicated. Cut down all the sorrows. Because this individual self itself reveals to this person about the intrinsic nature of the self, who has taken as the primary priority that I should study about this individual self in this birth. If we miss in this human birth, no other birth is not going to support this traditional teaching. They don't have language. There is no traditional teacher in each and every, any other birth other than human being. So one should focus. One should know the intrinsic nature of this self. By keeping this should be the priority in the life. Our business, our career, our household life, everything will fall and in its own place when we keep this as the top priority. Yameha yeshaha vrunude tena eva nibhyaha. For that person, tasya esha atma, for that person, this individual self, the substratum of this universe, the Almighty Brahman, will reveal its own intrinsic nature for that person who has taken, who has changed the priority and kept the first priority as Atmagnan, the knowledge of the self, is my primary concern. For that person, this substratum, this almighty Brahman will reveal its intrinsic nature. This is the entire meaning of this verse. We will read the next verse and we will go through the meaning in the next class. Navirato duscharitat, na shanto na samahitaha, na shantamanaso vapi, prajnanenam apnuyat. We will see this shloka and the meaning which is connected to this shloka what we have studied now in the next class. We will wind up the class. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Gobrahmanibhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samastha Sukhino Bhavantu Kali Varshadu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Kshoparahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaha Sarve Bhavantu Sukinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamata Purnamitam Purnat Purnamutachyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.